Hello, SPD200. This is a video that will go over your classroom management matrix. Now, this matrix is a little more simple than the disability comparison template matrix that you just completed. And so I did want to go over some of the basics and know that this one should not be as time consuming as your topic 3 matrix. With this matrix, it is specific and geared towards strategies that involve classroom management. And so you will identify through using our textbook and the disability category template and all that you have learned in SPD 200 up to this point, some examples of misbehavior or disruptive behavior that can occur in a classroom. You're also going to research the potential causes of the classroom behavior and provide 2 strategies to support those students in a classroom. Now, there's some terrific resources right on our resource list for topic 4. Chapters 8 and 9 cover behavior management strategies. Also, you'll see here the IRIS Center is listed 3 or 4 times, the IRIS Center, and it's a terrific resource for behavior management strategies. Lastly, there's the tiered framework that you can consider looking at through PBIS, and PBIS stands for Positive Behavioral Supports. There are 3 tiers in PBIS. If you see here, there's tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. And just like academic supports in which we use a tiered system, we also use a tiered system for behavioral supports. By clicking on these links, you will learn about the tier 1 supports that we offer to all students in order to maintain positive classroom behavior. And that includes examples like having classroom procedures and routines and songs that during transitions, nonverbal cues for having to use the restroom, and all of these supports that you give to an entire classroom so that your students are showing positive behaviors. Also, there will be students involved in tier 2 for behavior. These are students that need more instruction on how to meet your behavioral classroom standards. And so oftentimes these students will need more supports in order to be successful with their behavior. And I'll show you what that looks like during this video. There will be students who need tier 3 support or special education supports because their behavioral needs are intense and frequent. And in that case, you will be working with the special education teacher to develop those behavioral supports. I will say that on interventioncentral.org, it is the same place that you were able to access and find those academic interventions. It also offers a host of behavioral interventions that you can use for this assignment. And how I got to this area here is I always click on the home button, and then I scroll down, and next to this red apple is a behavior intervention planner. Now, in this planner, it offers a variety of academic adjustments, diffusing strategies, skill building strategies, and you can look at the synopsis of these. You can select them and edit them if you need to edit based on the needs of your students. But there is a variety of strategies to meet the needs of a variety of misbehaviors right here on this list. Also, you can consider clicking here where it says behavior interventions. And there are a lot of these are the same interventions on the other page, but they do go into more detail about how to implement the interventions. Active response speeds and diffusing strategies, behavior report cards, and self-management systems for students to use to manage their own behavior. All of these would be excellent tools to use with students that show misbehavior in a classroom and need tier 2 support. An example of what you will do for the behavior matrix template is you will give an example of the misbehavior. One example that you can feel free to use is general inattentiveness or impulsivity, hyperactivity. That's an example of a misbehavior that can disrupt the learning environment if a student is very hyperactive or impulsive. A potential cause could be that student is identified with ADHD or attention deficit hyperactive disorder. And so you will put that information right here, the example of the misbehavior, hyperactivity, the cause, ADHD, and then you're going to identify some supports from the behavior intervention planner to address these deficits in this student's learning. You'll want to provide the support, and you will also want to give a brief description as to what that support will look like. So right here on your matrix, you'll provide the strategy, but also for full points, you'll need to provide a brief description of what the strategy looks like in action. It might be helpful to look at an ADD simulator. That helps me when understanding why students are showing impulsivity. A lot of students identified with ADHD report that they have a lot going on in their brain. They're thinking of many things at once. And so it can be hard to focus and show attention to tasks. Also consider looking at through your child's eyes and finding students watching their struggles with attention. One student that I enjoy watching that really describes it well is Noah here. He's in 11th grade, and he describes his attention struggles well. This will help you get a good idea of what types of strategies might support these types of students. When we're diagnosing for ADHD, we do use surveys. We will give a survey to parents and also a survey to the student, and not the student, the student's teachers across all of those students, classes. And if a child is elevated in their scores when looking at attention or distractibility or forgetfulness, if they have elevated scores across settings, then that student may potentially have ADHD. You'll also notice they frequently ignore directions. Teachers report that they talk continuously. They can come off as impatient or giving up easily, interrupting. All of these would be behaviors that you would want to address with this strategy. You'll find those strategies right on interventioncentral.org. And one that you'll find on interventioncentral.org you can feel free to use is an environmental strategy like flexible seating. Oftentimes, students will show greater perseverance and attention to task if they have a seating option in which they can have continuous motion, like with this rocking seat, or just the ability to stand at their seat so that they can get movement in their bodies while they are performing tasks. A second strategy right from interventioncentral.org is chunking assignments. Oftentimes, students with ADHD have so much going on in their brain, it is hard to digest the fact that they now have to put more in their brain. And so when they're presented with a worksheet that has 30 math problems, it feels overwhelming. And so one might be tempted to just give up. Providing a strategy like chunking assignments where you will give students with ADHD the first third of the worksheet to complete. Once they're finished, give them the second third of the worksheet to complete. That is a much more manageable way, and it feels more attainable to achieve success and complete an assignment when it's chunked. You can decide how that looks. Some teachers actually cut the assignment into thirds or fourths. Sometimes if I have something on the back and I can't cut the assignment, I will just put a white piece of paper over the assignment so they can only see the information that they are responsible for completing. Those are two strategies that you can put right here on the matrix, flexible seating with a brief description and chunking assignments with a brief description. Providing the information that this information was retrieved from interventioncentral.org. You'll put your references right here at the bottom, and you'll also include a narrative or a reflection based on in your own words. So feel free to use the pronoun I. You can say I. Put it in first person. That is okay. And just describe what inclusion means. Describe the supports that students have access to across tiers 1, tier 2, and tier 3. Describe how you would want to include students in your classroom that have behavioral needs and the supports that you will give them so that they are adequately included, instead of maybe sending the child out to the class, into the hallway. That would not be inclusive. We want to find strategies to include them in our class, support their learning, support their movement needs, and find ways for them to access the information in our class. And there's so many strategies right here on interventioncentral.org for you to find that information. I'm here if you have questions. I'm so excited to see all of the unique ways that you problem solve some of these common misbehaviors. And please reach out if you have questions when completing this assignment. Have a great day.